And Robe is on location in Malmo, Sweden with Eurovision technical guru Ola Melzig. How do you know this location?
I was born and raised in beautiful Malmo, and I spent my first 25 years in this lovely city before I went to a more horrible place named Stockholm. But one day I will be back.
I believe you're well acquainted with this arena.
I am. This was the host of Eurovision 2013. So I've spent a couple of hours in this venue since March 2013.
Let's just take a bit of a look back, Ola, and talk about when you first got fascinated by sort of lighting, production, stagecraft, that kind of thing. Was there a magic moment?
There was. ABBA had won the Eurovision, and they were doing a folk park tour here in Sweden that summer. And my mom got us tickets. So me, my mom and my sister went, and she actually managed to get me in for free, lying about my age, because kids under 7, it was free entrance. Just that energy that came from the stage and out in the audience and back, it was just like, it was the coolest thing. And that just sparked something within. I remember coming home that night, I was like, I could not sleep. I was so excited because, yeah, that just corresponded so well to me, and I had this idea that, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Obviously, I wanted to be a rock star, but that didn't go well.
At this point, we just fast forward 15 years.
My girlfriend at the time, we lived here in Malmo, and she was missing Stockholm. So in 1989, winter of '89, we moved to Stockholm from Malmo, and her brother worked as a stagehand for a concert promoter called EMA Telstar, which was the biggest promoter in Scandinavia at the time, and today Live Nation, like most other promoters. So he got me a gig as a stagehand. January or February 1990, I did my first load-in of Iggy Pop at the Annex in Stockholm. And that night I did a loadout for Scorpions at the Globe Arena next door. And I just knew, it was like, this is my family. This is the same kind of people as me. They're just as weird and awkward and outcast like me. So yeah, this is where I belong. So that's how it all started. At some point someone learned that I had a forklift driver's license, so I became a forklift driver, and then a production runner and catering runner because I had a driver's license. The first tour I ever did was as a backline tech because someone figured out, oh, you play guitar? I was like, yeah. So I did that, and then I decided that my passion should be lighting. And I did that for many years. I even tried sound once, which ended in disasters, but that's another story. I came to a point where I enjoyed the planning much more than the execution. It was much more fun to be creative in Excel than in a CAD program. So I focused more and more on production.
How did that all lead to your first sort of production jobs?
Well, I see that as one of my superpowers. I played all the roles there is to play in a production. I would never ask anyone to do something that I wouldn't be ready to do myself, and most probably already done myself. And my crew knows that.
You've had a great international career, you've worked all over the world, but right here and now we're just going to talk a little bit about Eurovision 2024, which is what you're going to be doing in Malmo Arena here next year.
Yeah, this is going to be my 16th.
Right.
It was never supposed to be more than 2, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to quit after 11 because that's my lucky number, and here I am. I am back. I'm coming back as the technical director for show, which means all the fun stuff, lighting, sound, pyro, automation, stage, video, all the all the lovely bits that makes the show fantastic. So very, very excited to be back on board with Eurovision. I love the format, I'm extremely comfortable in it. And we're back in Malmo Arena, which is fantastic. Because one of the biggest challenges always with Eurovision is that you spend months trying to educate the venue what is about to hit them. And their reference is like, well, you know, we had U2 here. It's like, that's great. We're like U2 plus 120 trailers. So how do you think this is going to work out? And you know, there should be a big alarm clock going off when you say something like that. But there isn't. And then you go like, well, we use, you know, somewhere around 4,500 shifts of stagehand. And again, they just choose to ignore it. So they don't realize what hits them until it's way too late. With Malmo Arena, it's the same management. All the key people are still here. They know exactly what we're going to drag them through. And so they're well prepared and very, very well equipped for the mission. And on top of that, very excited and happy that we're back here. And so are we. I love this place. It's a great venue.
What's the best thing about working on a Eurovision event?
We have a luxury that many shows doesn't have. We have good resources and a lot of time. We spend a tremendous amount of time rehearsing. Before we rehearse for 2.5 weeks, full production rehearsals for 2.5 weeks before we go live the first time. Every frame of this show is scripted to the millimeter. It's just like, it's a very, very slick execution of the show.
How many people will be working on a core Eurovision production?
So around 15 people in the core of the technical production, and then a couple of hundred crew.
Yeah.
It takes 222 people to operate the Eurovision broadcast, with all the cameramen, follow spot operators, lighting operators, stage management, floor management. It's a big crew.
And looking back over all the Eurovisions that you've worked on, is there one or two that stand out or are special?
My first one abroad was 2002 in Estonia, in Tallinn. And Estonia was just about to become a member of the EU, but no one really knew where Estonia was. It was such an important show for that country because that was their chance to put their country on the map, on the European map. And they just took very well care of us, and there were friendships created there that is still lasting to this day. I still work with a lot of the people from Estonia that I got to know back then. So it has a very emotional touch to it for me.
Sure. What are the most important things to consider when delivering a high-profile global TV extravaganza?
Well, for me, it has always been to do the unexpected. And because I want the audience and also all you industry professionals that will never admit that you actually watched this show to go, how the fuck did he do that? And when we achieve those moments, then we succeeded. And it could either be using a brand new product that actually officially doesn't exist yet, or using a product in an unconventional way. That's the kick I get out of it, that to be on the barricades of new technology. And Eurovision is a perfect format because of the long rehearsal time, that we can afford things to break several times, as long as they work on broadcast and well enough for rehearsals. And historically, when you work with brand new techniques or technologies, you have massive support from the manufacturer.
And I believe there's going to be some new technologies that we can look forward to next year?
Not only, we're going to produce Eurovision in a whole new way. It's going to be much more immersive and much more in your face. So we're going completely away from the traditional way of broadcast the Eurovision and how you film it and produce it. It's going to be something completely different. And yes, there's going to be a bunch of new toys that you don't know about, but I do.
Well, we can all look forward to that then.
Yes.